We're in private. Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
people.
Hi, everyone.
Nice to see you again. So, Felice, again, what was the topic today? Choice, making a choice.
Hi, everyone. Hi, listeners or viewers of this podcast, Women in Wisdom. We would like to talk to you today as a coach, but also as a woman, as a female, as an entrepreneur, as a friend. We would like to share some insights of our private lives with you. And today we'd love to talk about setting boundaries and also choices, making choices in life. I think setting boundaries is very interesting because it shows everyone who you are, right? You have expectations and you want people to recognize your values and your how do you say this? You want people to understand how things work with you, right? Setting a boundary, isn't this about creating some kind of clarity to the other person, to make a connection and to have a good interaction? What do you think?
Yeah, I think also we talked minutes before, a few minutes before, even as moms. So I'm also a mom of two, and I really notice it's not so much about the age, like you said, Felice. You even have to set boundaries to adults, but maybe you have to make it in another way somehow than to children. So, but yeah, when I noticed myself as a mother, so my little one was very about to be angry and let herself fall down and cry and shout and was really aggressive also to herself. And I noticed myself to really look at myself. How do I wanna go with this? How could I help her? Because I somehow felt that she needs help in some way. She even by herself couldn't fix this somehow problem with her anger. And I somehow
Was she angry because you set a boundary and she wouldn't accept your boundary?
no, I
Was
think
that causing a conflict inside of her?
yeah, somehow sometimes it was this, but sometimes several times it was because she was angry about herself, not could do anything or not could do everything or not could do the thing she wants to do, even to close her shoes or to close her wardrobe or something like that, her skirt or so. And then she gets angry about herself. And right now the anger gets smaller about the years, but there are times right now where she gets angry about herself because she made a mistake or made a fault or something like that. And that what I was noticing several years before. And somehow I want to help her, and I made this choice to look at what I feel, what she needs right now. So sometimes I get her in my arms and she was, but it was not really that she's fighting against me. I really feel she needs the hug and the close embrace of myself. And then she cried, and then she gets calmer and calmer, and then she finds her peace back. And sometimes I should leave her alone because she made it with her own sometimes. But I really have to decide for myself, what could I do, what could I really do without getting somehow out of myself or even also get angry about her. And that was really a challenge to like you said, Felice, before, to stay by myself, not getting outside of myself. So it's often we get outside of ourselves when something happens outside. We go with our intention outside because we want to fix something outside. And what I noticed was that when I stay inside, and that's also a practice because the outside is so big or so loud or it's triggering me, and then it's so easy to fall outside of myself, and to train myself to stay inside, even maybe get out of the situation and
so
breath.
you mean you need to guard your boundary to make sure that you don't get upset as well, or you lose your patience or you lose your temper. And yeah, it's an interesting energy exchange between people, because setting boundaries, every single one of us has boundaries. Even little babies have boundaries, even clients have boundaries. So it's like the art of knowing how to meet at the boundary, right?
Yeah, and
the art of meeting at the boundary. So talking in your language isn't enough, because the person that's listening to you might not understand your language, and vice versa, right?
Yeah, and it's also about how is the situation. If it is full of energy or anger or something like that, you even couldn't fix the problem. So you could fix problems when you are calm and you are energized, and somehow you have the contact to your resources, the possibilities, and that's not at that place where anger or frustration are. So you have to somehow get the awareness. And I think it's everything. It's about awareness, even to be aware of where I am right now with the person in front of me. And even if it is an adult or my child or a colleague or whatever, a friend. So I really have to be aware. And every triggering of myself is an invitation of looking at myself. Why does this trigger me? What is it about me? Because the person did something, but I, in myself, there is this trigger, where it triggers and where something happened then, because first the person did something or said something or anything like that, and I let it into myself and trigger, and then I decide, I choose what I want to do. And it's not every time aware with an awareness, it's without awareness, because my awareness going outside because it's triggering me so much. And the first step is to be aware about what's going on there right now, and but a step back.
Putting boundaries, setting boundaries and guarding your boundary is about understanding yourself in the first place. You can never set a boundary, or you can never understand someone else if you don't understand yourself first, right? So I guess we all experience this, because this is what we teach our people, our clients as well, and this is what we practice as a human being in life as well. When our boundaries crossed and we have a conflict of interest. It could be in a relationship, but it could also be in a relationship towards the children, or in a negotiation or something with your clients, But I think, wouldn't you agree, Camila, that boundaries starts with understanding what you want and protecting what you want and who you are?
This is definitely something that NVC, nonviolent communication, is talking about, because first you have to understand what you really need, what you need. And going to business, I would say that you have to understand what you really aim to. What is the goal? Where are you going? And then assertiveness and setting the boundaries is communicating this. But I also like very, very much approach of Brené Brown that is saying setting the boundaries is defining what we do and what we do not. So where is this thin red line between what we do and what we don't? Exactly this. So you are unable to set this little thin line if you don't know what you allow and what you do not allow. And this is piece of understanding yourself. True. You need to understand your needs, and well, all nonviolent communication is about that you have to, you can, if you want, understand what you really need. And it's not exactly what we want at the moment, because needs are much, much, much deeper. And it's the whole big science to understand what we really need. And what Michaela was talking about, if you understand what you really need, you are able not to react, but to respond. So not to go from your reptile brain and react like a beast.
Emotionally, yeah.
Yeah, but understand that, hey, I want this and my goal is there. So if you behave this way and you act this way, I want to ask you to do something else, because the goal is over there and not where you are at the moment. This is how I see it.
Absolutely. Knowing what the purpose or the goal is, and remaining loyal to, I think, remaining loyal to who you are as a human being, even in an interaction. Every single one of us has to be and remain very loyal to their own hearts. Exactly. Because if you're not loyal to yourself, how can you be loyal to someone else?
This is it. But looking at my clients, I think there is one more element there, because very many people are unable to say what they want. The word want, I want, especially this set of words, I want for myself, it doesn't exist in the space. It's impossible to pronounce it. So funny, sometimes I give this exercise to my students, say I want for myself, and sometimes it stucks here.
It blocks.
It's amazing. So assertiveness and setting the boundaries and saying what I want or I allow and what I do not is also learning of the courage to ask for something for yourself. But it leads us straight to the point where there is a very, very important question. Are you worthy to ask for yourself? Are you worthy to set the boundaries? Are you allowed by yourself to set the boundaries, to ask for anything? It's a big thing.
Sometimes I believe also that sometimes you cannot ask, sometimes it's just knowing your self-worth and respecting yourself and walking your talk, you know, and by doing that, you cannot ask other people to meet you all the time. Sometimes people just don't meet you. And I believe it's important to respect that, you know. So I'm referring now to, for example, in a relationship, when you're having difficulties in a relationship and you know who you are and you know your own values, and the other person is unable to meet you and to have a connection with you at that certain point, I think it's important to release that, because wanting control of something that does not belong to you, that responsibility isn't yours, you cannot force it to get it right. So, and even with a child, if you can apply it to anything in business or with a child. It's even in business. Let's say the example for a business connection. You want something and you know what you want and you have a connection, you have a communication, but still you don't get the response from the client like you would love to. You cannot force it, right? You have to accept it, you have to respect it, and you have to let it go, because everything will happen at the right time, right? So, and it's the same with children. If your child is on the floor of the warehouse or the supermarket and crying and banging the fists on the floor because the child wants something, and you set boundaries, but the child does not want to meet you and doesn't want to stand up and and say, oh, mommy's right, you have to accept it and let it go. You set your boundary. You just say, okay, I'm going out of the supermarket now. I would love you to stop that behavior, but you cannot heat it. You cannot force it. You cannot pull the child. It's, you have to let it go, right?
Oh my God, it's so much about love to our kids, Felice. And this is the spot where
it's so much about what, Camila?
Our kids, our relationship with our kids. I am at that spot right now, so I caught it very quickly. If your kid is misbehaving, and it happens frequently with everyone, every single kid,
parent,
what are you supposed to do? Beat it? Shout at it? Throw it away?
No,
it's still your kid. You have to let it go and keep loving the kid.
Yeah,
right?
Sure. And help the child to understand, where does the feeling come from and what can you do about it? And, it's about passing on the skills that we have, passing on to the child and hoping that the child is ready to learn, because, we can pass on a lot of stuff. It's like, even in business, as a coach, you can pass on a lot of stuff, but if the person on the other side isn't ready, it cannot accept, and you still have to be the best version of yourself as a mom as well. Be the best mom you can be the best dad that you can be, and do everything you can within your power to pass on the knowledge and the love and the care and the insights. But if the child isn't ready, it's not ready.
Simply.
Very interesting topic.
Yeah.
And this is interesting that we found out the topic for today, talking about kids themselves.
Yeah. And please subscribe if you didn't do this right now. And because we have so many interesting topics, even for easy ones, that you get so much out of it. And we were so happy to show ourselves to you and our topics that are so much interesting and maybe help you even with big challenge or small challenge. Then stay with us next week when we meet again.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Ciao.